Hey Canucks fans, welcome to Clay's Canucks commentary for Tuesday, October the 23rd. I'm Clay Emo at Canuck Clay on Twitter. I'm at Clayton Emo on Instagram, and this is my Canucks take, all in one take. Was at the game last night. Was at Rogers Arena to see the Vancouver Canucks lose 5-2 to the Stanley Cup champion Washington Capitals. Went with my son Sean. He's at Canuck_Sean on Twitter. Had a great time, great catch-up time. It's Sean's grade 12 year, so he's in the middle of being the president of a school grad committee. He's in the middle of scholarship applications. So it was a nice chance for us to kind of hang out as father and son and catch up a little bit and spend time talking about other stuff, less serious stuff like the Vancouver Canucks. Although, as you know, I take this team very seriously. I take my fandom very seriously, and I'll get to that in a sec. I'm going to share the story, the wonderful story behind the Gagner Guys. But give me a few minutes. Let's talk about the game first. The Capitals showed why they are Stanley Cup champions. As I mentioned in yesterday's preview video, their firepower up front is very strong, and actually their power play unit is ridiculous. And they went 2 for 5 again, so 40%, right on their average for the season. And when you can roll out a power play that has Karlsson and Ovechkin, Oshie, Backstrom, and Kuznetsov, you know you're in trouble. And we saw that on both their power play goals, both one-timers, the 2 power play goals, Kuznetsov from the right circle, and then Ovechkin from the left circle. Those were the 2 power play goals. We also saw John Carlson's wizardry in the first goal, as he basically shot up the ice, beating Stetcher to the net on a 4-on-4 situation. So that was their third goal. And then a couple other goals. One was the empty netter, which Ovechkin very unselfishly passed up his hat-trick goal, a potential hat-trick goal, to TJ Oshie. And then Ovechkin, the other goal was the one where Sutter tried to clear it to the side, and it went off of Ovechkin's leg as Ovechkin drove the net. So those were the 5 Washington goals. I kind of gave those out of order, but I think you guys know which ones I'm talking about. As for the 2 Canucks goals, one was Troy Stetcher, Troy from Richmond, taking a quick wrist shot, and it went off Nick Dowd, who was trying to play goalie, probably taking some lessons from Alex Edler last year when he was here with the Canucks, and it went past Holtby. And the other goal was a power play goal. Canucks got 1 power play goal. It was a slap shot or a wrist shot from Brock Besser off of Holtby's pad, blocker right to Sven Berchi, who potted in the open net. And that was Berchi from Besser and Horvat. So at least the top line, or at least 3 of their top players, got a point last night. But you never really felt, although obviously the game was tied at 0-0, and the game was later tied at 1-1. And, I think the goal at the end of the second period, 35 seconds left, was a backbreaker, made it 3-1 Washington. But Brandon Sutter drew a penalty right after that, and then the Canucks scored on power play goal. So really, they played the start. They're 30 seconds into the third period. It was only a 3-2 game, but then Washington scored quickly after that. So, yeah, though it was 0-0, then it was 1-1, and it was even 3-2. It felt like Washington carried the play. They certainly carried the play when it came to shots. But actually, when you look at all the hustle stats, including blocks and takeaways and things like that, it was actually quite close, quite even, and even the Canucks even won the face-off circle battle, which is surprising. But everything that I said in my preview came to life from a standpoint of it was the Washington power play that was the difference, going 2 for 5, and yeah, Ovechkin with a 4-point night, 2 goals, 2 assists, could have easily had 3 and 1, could have had that hat trick, but like I said, passed it off to TJ Oshie. Very unselfish of him. And yeah, I was at the Boston game on Saturday. I like that result better, and I think the atmosphere was better against Boston because more of a hated rivalry, so to speak. And it was a Saturday night. There were some empty seats last night, but overall a decent vibe in the arena. Saturday night was better, but still, yeah, I'm not mad. I'm not upset. The Canucks simply weren't as good as their opponents last night, and we're going to have a lot of games like that. And we've seen the Canucks beat strong teams already, like Boston, Pittsburgh, and Tampa, but they've also lost to some strong teams, i.e. Winnipeg and i.e. Washington Capitals last night. So a couple other things real quick. Brock Besser, good to see him get another point. He's getting a point every game. None of them goals, though, so, we got excited that he had 2 goals in 6 games. That was 1 out of every 3. Now he has only 2 goals in the 9 games. Now that's 2 out of every 9, 1 out of every 4.5. So now he's on pace for only 18 to 20 goals as opposed to 27 to 30. We'll keep an eye on that. Thought Horvat had a decent game. He was trying very hard, and you could tell he wanted to make a difference, be a difference maker. But with Pettersson on the lineup, we are definitely short on difference makers. I was surprised with the return of Nielsen in net a little bit, giving Markstrom's strong performance on Saturday, beating Boston. It wasn't Nielsen's fault they lost. One was the empty netter, and 2 of them were on the power play that were tough to tough to stop, but maybe he could have stopped at least one of them. So who knows? It's not Nilsson's fault we lost, but also he wasn't making a ton of big saves last night either. And lastly, something that I mentioned on my game recap from Saturday night on Sunday, same thing I noticed last night. The Canucks still have trouble getting the puck out of their own zone. Maybe it's because of the skilled forwards of Washington or their tough forecheck. But Vancouver wasn't able to utilize their team speed last night because they were playing a lot of the game in their own end and trying. Like, we know that the 6 Canucks blue liners aren't the best at getting the puck out, and thus they weren't getting the pucks out to the forwards enough. So guys like Virtanen, Mott, Gaudette, those guys who can skate well and like to bring the puck over or even dump and chase. Not a lot going on last night. So really, not a lot of difference makers for the Canucks. The good news for today, the Canucks are going to practice before they go out to Vegas on Wednesday night and Arizona on Thursday night, back-to-back games. So look for Markstrom and Nilsson to split those games. But it sounds like Elias Pettersson will be practicing full contact, full practice today. And then if that's the case, and if he's participating in the line rushes in today's practice, then look for him to play tomorrow in Vegas already. I have no problems with that as long as he's fully cleared, and I have no issues with the Canucks training staff, the medical staff. They're experts. So if they think that Pettersson's ready to go, then put him in and let him go. There's no need to keep him out of the lineup until Saturday just because it's a home game or whatever it may be. If he is ready to go, the Canucks obviously need him both on the power play and to bolster up their lineup down the middle. So I won't do a video likely after lunch today, after the Canucks practice, but I can interact with you guys here or on Twitter if they indeed announce that Pettersson will play tomorrow. Obviously, that'll be great news for the Canucks. The biggest news for the Canucks since, of course, he got injured 1.5 weeks ago. Okay, I want to end off this video by telling you the story about the Gagner Guys. So last night, during the first intermission, I noticed that 2 guys in Gagner jerseys, Sam Gagner jerseys. You know, Sam Gagner, who was cut, in essence, by the Canucks. Not playing in Utica, though. The Canucks lent him to the Toronto Marlies so he could be closer, at least, to his family, when they're playing in Toronto. So, I mean, no, that doesn't make sense. Is his family here? Regardless, he's playing in Toronto, maybe because it's a travel thing or whatever it may be, but he's not playing for Utica. I should get that story straight, because I think the reason was to be close to his family, but his family's here in Vancouver. Then, I guess Toronto is closer to Vancouver than Utica is. That would make more sense. Regardless, Sam Gagner is not playing with the Canucks. He's playing in the AHL with the Toronto Marlies. So obviously, a surprise to see 2 guys, 2 friends, wearing Sam Gagner jerseys. And it's funny, this little subculture that started with Jason Botchford, and it started when he was writing for the Province and the Provies, his very popular post-game feature. And now that Jason Botchford is writing for the Athletic and all the VIPs, he's taken that Provies and now it's the Athletes, and still same wit, same insight, and same anticipation that goes into all of his post-game pieces. So one of these little cool or interesting subculture things, or in these Athletes before the Provies, was people taking pictures of Canucks fans in obscure jerseys, sending it to Jason Botchford with the hope, or maybe they don't care, but anticipation or the hope that maybe he mentions them and puts them in his article. And to his credit, he'll do 1 or 2 a game, 1 or 2 a night, and it's a nice little bump for the people that actually take the pictures. It's something kind of fun, it's something a little goofy, and it's all in good fun. It's not really making fun of anyone. You're not like pushing their name or their address or their Facebook account or Twitter account on the tweet. So everything's all good. So I fell into this yesterday because I saw 2 guys wearing Sam Gagner jerseys. I was about to take a picture, but then a guy wearing a Henrik jersey stood behind him in the concession line, in the beer line or whatever, and then couldn't get the shot and wasn't subtle enough to take the shot. So I just didn't get the shot. So I basically, it's funny, Jason Botchford just replied to one of my tweets as I'm recording this. But anyways, I got to focus here. So then I tweeted basically to Botchford, and I basically said, not knowing the full story, I said, I bet I'm not one to make judgments on jerseys, i.e. David Booth, but I bet those 2 guys who bought the Sam Gagner jerseys are now regretting their decision. A little bit sarcastic, a little bit, maybe that wasn't the most charitable tweet ever, but whatever. I didn't think too much of it. And then the Jason Botchford kind of replied, said, picks or didn't happen. Basically, you got to prove it. And then I said, yeah, I was going to, but then a guy with another jersey stepped in front of them. So then we kind of went back and forth during the second period, and then I basically said it was my second intermission mission to go find those Gagner guys. So my son Sean and I, for the entire second intermission, we hung out in the concourse. We made rounds around the concourse during the second intermission, and we could not find the Gagner guys again for that picture, just for a picture I mentioned in the Athletics, and for my own personal satisfaction. I did find a guy wearing a Matt Sundin jersey. I did find a guy wearing a Nicholas Jensen jersey. Took those pictures, 13 and 15 jersey numbers right beside each other, tweeted that out. But I said I was disappointed that I'd failed, that I was not able to find the Gagner guys. So I was resigned to that fact that I did not pass my mission. I was not going to get into the Athletics, but I would have to just kind of survive and suck it up. Game ends. Sean and I are getting ready to leave, and then guess who shows up in our section? One of the Gagner guys with another one of his friends. So I kind of quickly prayed about how was I going to get this picture, because I don't want to be, malicious or deceitful and just get a picture of their backs just so I can maybe get into the Athletics. So then I went up to them and I introduced myself as Clay, and I said, can I get a picture of you guys? So we took a couple pictures of me and, with them facing forward so it didn't look so stupid, and then a couple pictures, of me and this one guy wearing the Gagner jersey. And fine. Met them. Then I found out they were from Mexico. They were students visiting from Mexico, and they weren't, their English was very poor, but they were obviously excited to be at the game. We were taking selfies, we were taking pictures in broken English. They were trying to communicate. My English probably not much better, but we were trying to communicate. I introduced them to my son Sean, and my son Sean has been dating a lovely girl named Fernanda for the past over two and a half years now, and Fernanda is from Mexico. So Sean made that connection with them, that his girlfriend was from Mexico. What city were you born in? What city she was born in? So they were talking. That was kind of cool. Then as they're talking, as we're taking pictures, two more guys come, and it's the other Gagner guy. So I guess there were a group of four of them. Two of them had Mexico is the SHIT jackets, kind of cool jackets. Mexico is the S. I don't say those kind of words, so I'm sure you can fill in what the word was. Well, I just spelt it. And the other two guys were in Gagner jerseys. So of course I had to get the ultimate picture. So I met the two new guys, also obviously from the same group, here from Mexico, visiting for a week. First hockey game ever, first NHL game ever, which is kind of cool. And then I took a picture with the two Gagner guys together, and that's the one I tweeted out last night saying, Botchford, here it is. You got to have faith. These are the guys look who showed up at my session just we were about to leave. It was meant to be. And I have a wonderful picture of the two Gagner guys on their backs, Gagner, me with a thumbs up, and saying, guess who I found, kind of thing. Tweeted that out, got some love, of course. Botchford, to his credit, Jason Botchford, put it into his Athletics last night with a cute little story, calling it the best redemption story. And in 2 or 3 paragraphs, much more succinctly than I just did right now, he explained, the story of me trying to track these Gagner guys down. So was able to, exchange a bit of contact info my son did with one of them so they can stay in touch a little bit. And we, God bless you, take care. And we get hugs, high fives, a couple more selfies, and they walked away. Then immediately, I know it's going long, but this is kind of important to me. I kind of felt bad then that I kind of made fun of them, because I realized that the Sam Gagner jerseys were 50% off yesterday. Maybe they've been 50% off for a while since he got demoted, to the AHL. And then I thought, piecing it all together, these 4 kids from Mexico, really nice, humble kids. I'm not here to judge. Maybe they have a lot of money, but my guess is they don't have a lot of money. They got into the game, which is awesome. And I'm not saying that I have a lot of money, but I work for the Catholic Church, of course. But I'm blessed never to have to worry about that, and I'm comfortable. I have 4 season tickets, so I'm not going to lie about that. So I'm comfy. I never had to struggle that way. And I realized that the likely scenario is those 2 guys bought those Gagner jerseys 2 for 1, 50% off, because it was the cheapest jersey in the store. And if they're new to Canada, they're only here for a week, they've never been to a hockey game, they probably don't know anything about the Canucks, they didn't know who this player was. And then it all made sense to me. And I felt bad for a little bit, and then I realized that I looked back at my tweets, and they weren't that uncharitable. I didn't make fun of them at all. And more importantly, I was that 5-minute exchange with them, taking pictures, having fun, exchanging contact info, taking selfies, wishing them good luck, sharing common experiences, at least Sean with his girlfriend and those guys. That was the highlight of the night. Yes, the game, it was fun to be in the arena. It was great to see Alex Ovechkin light up the lamp, so to speak. Even though the Canucks lost, it was great to be in the arena. I always feel privileged to be there. But last night, the highlight of the night was definitely meeting the Gagner guys, learning their story, and through broken English, but a lot of love and a lot of high fives, hanging out and getting to know some really cool guys. So there's the Gagner guys story. Ultimately ended up with a mention and a picture in the Athletics. Thank you, Jason Botchford. You did not have to do that. That wasn't my intent. Well, it's kind of my intent, but never. It just made for an interesting night overall. And more importantly, despite getting into your Athletics, I got a chance to meet some 4 real cool guys and hopefully help give a bit more to their experience. Hopefully give them some a memorable memory to take back. Well, I hope so. They got about 36 pictures of us on their phones. Okay, Canucks fans, thanks for listening to that. I know that was long, but I hope that was worth listening to. It's a really great, redeeming part of our night last night to meet the Gagner guys, to take that picture. Canucks fans, what do you think? What do you think of that story? You don't have to talk about that story. I just talked about it for 8 minutes, so maybe you're sick of that story already. But I want to share that with you. What do you think of the Canucks' performance last night? Were you impressed by the Washington Capitals? How far away are we to becoming a team like the Washington Capitals? Were you surprised at Nielsen in net in front of Markstrom? And are you excited about Pettersson coming back in the lineup? And when do you think he will come in the lineup? Like I said, we'll probably know more after Canucks practice this morning. Okay, there's a lot there. Leave a comment below. I'll read, react, and reply as much as I can. Subscribe if you'd like to. Like this video if you'd like to. Have a great day. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. God bless you. God bless the Gagner guys. Go Canucks, go.